If you are a quiet kid with okay grades at school, they really let you raw dog ADHD until your 30s. I've been waiting ages to make this video, and now that I'm making long form videos, I can finally tell you the full story of my ADHD journey. I've been actually diagnosed with ADHD for a while now, but I don't think I have really talked about it online. Honestly, everyone seems to be self diagnosed with something. I don't want this to become my whole identity, but eventually I wanted to share it because if you don't have hyperactive side of ADHD and you live in Belgium, I know how hard it is to be diagnosed with ADHD. And if you talk about this with other neurotypical people, they just don't take it seriously. And if you Google it, you get so overwhelming and it feels so commercialized as well. So you just let it and procrastinate it, like always. Growing up, my grades were fine, but every day I was asking to my friends, do we have homeworks? Do we have tests today? Because I'd completely forgotten. I was always cramming before the teacher walked in and making the homework or learning really quickly. I was probably the quietest kid in the room, but my mind was always somewhere else. I remember the teacher used to close the curtain next to me because I was spending the whole class staring outside. The school gives you this rigid schedule, 45 minutes class and 15 minutes break. And even though ADHD brain hates the structure, we actually need it. The real struggle starts when it's vacation or you have to write your own thesis because you have to make your own schedule and you have to plan it by yourself. And it feels impossible. Normally, neurotypical people are driven by long term goals like getting a degree or getting a great career. But for us, that doesn't work. We are driven by urgency, curiosity, competition, or pure novelty. And if there is no urgency, curiosity, or novelty, we just don't do that. I just don't understand that people really want to have ADHD. Like, oh, I have ADHD. I just lost my keys. Look, everyone loses their keys or running late in their lifetime. But the real question is if it stops you from functioning. For me, it was dealing with an eating disorder, snapping at someone who you love, but crying right after for what you did, isolating yourself, losing hours sitting on the floor, laying in your bed, rotting your dishes in the sink, and forgetting something really important and hurting your loved ones. And you have this feeling of immense shame and guilt all the time that you just don't want to do anything anymore. And if you're feeling like this, you need to talk to your GP, not to ChatGPT. Through the navigating system in Belgium was a whole process. When I first asked to my GP about my ADHD and autism, it didn't really help. He asked if anyone in my family had it, and I just had to laugh. Do Belgian doctors really think that my Korean family would even willingly step foot into psychiatrist's office? Anyway, he told me the waiting time is at least 6 months up to a year, and the cost could be up to 2,000 euros. I was so paralyzed by the cost that I was just about to give up. And then actually, a follower recognized my pattern who was also struggling with ADHD, and he told me about a place in Brussels. If you look up adult ADHD medical center in Brussels, then you can find it on Google. I'm not sure if I can tell you the name. And the wait list was only 3 months. And it was about 250 euro for 3 sessions. They check your brain waves. You have to talk with a psychiatrist. Then you review your results with the GP. Even in the waiting room, I was so hesitant. Like, what if I just waste my 250 euros just to hear that I'm just lazy and weird? I think I was terrified that I was just hunting for a label to validate my own flaws or just to find scapegoats to my own failures. But honestly, getting the diagnosis was a huge relief. It just ended the constant self doubt. I've tested the medication and it actually really worked. Also, there is an illegal way to know if you have ADHD. You can use stimulants and see if it works. Because one of the questions that my GP asked was, does stimulants help you? Like coffee or energy drinks. And I remember if I drink energy drink, I always fell asleep before my exams. And I always wondered like why do all my classmates drink energy drinks and stay up till night, but I just fell asleep. So apparently stimulants don't really work with ADHD. So what's the illegal way? So I wanted to share this in case someone else is in the same loop as me. And if you're trying to figure out in Belgium, I know how hard it is sometimes. And if you have questions about something, then just let me know. Bye.